Hey guys, it's Penelope in London. I thought I'd do an update of the chart of today. We're coming up to a solar eclipse that's going to take place on the 14th of December in Sagittarius. And also we've got the solstice, which is occurring. And on the 21st, that's the other thing that's coming up on the 21st, we've got the solstice and we've got Jupiter and Saturn. It's going to be 0 degrees of Aquarius. And the last time that every 20 years there is a meeting of there is a meeting of Jupiter and Saturn every 20 years, because Saturn takes about 29 years to move around the chart, and also Jupiter takes 12. So they cross each other, but they meet up every 20 years, and it's called a grand conjunction. And this one is particularly special. The last time that Jupiter was conjunct Saturn was in 2000. And also we've got the other thing that for knowledge sake, in 1226, Jupiter and Saturn were conjunct last time in Aquarius. So it's been over nearly 800 years since they were both conjunct in the sign of Aquarius. And at that time, the world leader was Genghis Khan. I think I hopefully pronounced that correctly. But it's just beautiful to look at history and the understanding of the planets and their cycles. So what we've got today, you can see my pointer, we've got the sun. If you can see here, this is transposed onto here. So we've got the sun, Sagittarius, 16 degrees here. We've got the moon in 13 degrees of Virgo at the moment. The moon is in Virgo here. We've got Mercury in Sagittarius as also. That's going to be, it's in a conjunction, as a weak conjunction, but that's going to speed up and conjunct exactly in the coming days. And we have Venus in Scorpio at 20 degrees. So Venus is in Scorpio here, 20 degrees. And we've got Mars in Aries, and Mars is here. And Mars is going to be in a square with, it's in a weak square at the moment, but it's 18, I'm just going 19, 20, 21, 22. It's 5 degrees, but it's going to be exact coming up as well. And then when it hits 27 degrees, when Mars hits 27 degrees, it's going to hit Jupiter. And then 29 degrees, there's going to be another sort of squaring to these planets up here. And we had this at the beginning of the year, or earlier, we had Mars squared to all of these planets here. So we can see, if we think back, why this is probably heading with the current COVID situation and rules and regulations that are going on. So we've got some good stuff coming up in the future, but clearly we have to look after our mental health at this time. And astrology is one way of understanding what's going on, so that we can all be on the same page and help each other to evolve any imprints that we've suffered from early on in our lives. So what else do we have? We have Jupiter. We know that that's moving into Aquarius, and we also know that Saturn is also moving into Aquarius on the 21st of December. I'm on a different planet. Sorry, December. And then on a different planet, that could be a joke, huh? So I'm reading astrology. So then we've got Uranus in Taurus. The last time Uranus was in Taurus was in the last World War, or 84 years ago. So I can't, whether that was, first or second, I should know better. But it was during a time when social funding was completely changed at that time. And then we have Neptune in Pisces. Neptune takes 180 years to move around the chart on average. And then we got Pluto in Capricorn, and Pluto's been there in Capricorn since 2008, when we had a monetary crash at that time. And Pluto will be leaving to move into Aquarius in 2023. Then it will retrograde slightly, and then it will go forward in 2024 into Aquarius, and it will stay there until 2044. So we've got some exciting times ahead and some challenges. So I'm going to read what we've got going on. We've got the North Node as well. The nodes go around the chart this way, and the node is our path in life. So at the moment, this is in Gemini at 20 degrees, and it'll go 19, 18, back to 0 degrees, and then it will be in Taurus. And that's going to take about another good year. So the sun is square the moon at the moment. You can see the sun is squaring the moon. So the moon is our ego and our inner world. It's the rules the sign of Cancer. The sun rules the sign of Leo, and we've got that at 16 degrees, and the sun is also conjunct Mercury. So what does that mean to us as it moves on in? Because it's applying, it's about 7 degrees away at the moment. So the sun and Mercury, with this aspect, it's where we get creative, and it's subjective and creative, and where we can express our ideals, and also our artistic, sort of our artistic side of us as well, because the sun is our, creativity in so many ways, because the sun rules Leo, or the Leo, yes, sun rules Leo, and it's a great aspect for stage performers, this as well. And if you have this in your chart, I actually have this, so I find speaking quite easy. I'm able to express myself publicly. Also, here, it's where we can be intellectual, but the thinking can be very subjective, and we can lack objectivity with this because we're jumping all over the place with the Mercury. And we've also got the ability to see things from the outside of things as well, which is good. The sun, this is that conjunction though, the sun conjunct Mercury, and the sun is trining Mars. And again, this is applying, so this means it's going to happen. So the sun, you see that's 18 degrees, it's applying because it's 16, and when it gets to 18, it's going to be like in a complete trine, 120 degrees. So this is harmonious, and it allows us to, it gives us the desire to set objectives, and it gives us the ability to, try and reach our goals. So this chart is the collective chart. If you want to look at your own chart, I'll show you. Go to AstroSeek, and you could just put here, you can see, I'm showing you, you go to birth natal chart online calculator, but you do need your birth time, because if you don't have your birth time, you're not going to get the rising sign correct. The rising sign changes every 2 hours, and the moon takes 2.5 days to move through a sign. So it's really worth understanding that why time is important in a birth chart. The sun is also square to Neptune. I will say actually that Mars, there can be impatience and competitive sort of behavior. And with the sun square Neptune, which we have, the sun is square to Neptune here. This aspect is where we can be overly empathetic, and we might sacrifice ourselves. So I can see a bit of that going on at the moment, that not a lot of us are standing up to rules that are being imposed and stuff. We're just sort of going along with it, and we're being a bit easy, and we've got to watch out for that. During that, with this aspect, we're better off staying away from any substances that change our mind. We need a clear head, because alcohol and drugs don't solve our problems, but people can get used to using such things if they've been through traumatic childhood or traumatic situation. It can be a way of numbing out and not having to deal with the deep emotions. Garbon Mate, actually interesting, you might like to check him out on trauma. He says that with addiction, and there's all sorts of addictions, it can be shopping, eating, codependency, alcohol, drugs, the basic ones. But basically, he says, Garbon Mate says, it's not why the addiction, it's why the pain, because addictions will be pain related generally, to release ourselves from them. We've got the moon square Mercury at the moment, but the moon moves quickly, so it's because it takes 2.5 days to move through the chart. And the moon is also trying to, we've got a lot of moon activity, it's trying to, let me see here, trying to Mars, no, sorry, the moon, I've lost myself there. The sun is square the moon, the sun is conjunct Mercury, the sun is trying Mars, and then we've got the moon square Mercury as well. And we've also got the moon trine Uranus. That's what I was trying to get out there. The moon is trine to Uranus. So you see here, And if we look at that, that's harmonious. A trine is harmonious, and it's, you know, a need for considerable emotional, where we need independence and freedom from the family environment. When we have that, I actually, on my this year's solar return that I have, because you can have a chart done that's your year ahead from your birthday, and my moon and Uranus are conjunct. So it means that I've basically wanted to get away from convention and lead an unconventional life and not yield to others. And that's been very important for me this year, you know, to feel separated from society. You know, it's separation, but it works for me. And also it can be stormy emotions and mood swings, and that as well. The moon is opposite Neptune right now. You see here that red line, that's an opposition, 180 degrees, but that's applying as well. We've got Venus trine Neptune. You've got Venus here trine to Neptune, and it's harmonious again, and it's a sense of compassion and intuition in our relationships with others. And there can be fantasy, because Neptune is part fantasy and inventiveness and art. Venus, you know, art and beauty. And also it's where we basically, you know, we're just feeling inspired, really, and our imagination can be quite activated at this time. And that's 20 and that's 18. So that's now separating, because it's, if it was 18 and 18, that's when it was exactly conjunct. With Venus sextile to Pluto, you can see here Venus is sextile to Pluto there. So Pluto is transformation and Venus is beauty and on inner needs as well. And there can be conflicts with this, because Pluto really, you know, are we having our needs met? And we can look at that in our general, you know, the collective. Are we having our needs met? Are people, you know, are we transforming and going for transformation? But this can create a lot of superstitiousness as well, because we don't know what the hell's going on at the moment, excuse my language, but that's the truth. The Mars square Pluto, so this is really important, because this is going to just get, you know, bigger. It's going to, between now and the 21st of January, we're going to have this just building, this energy. And what's going to happen, I'm going to show you on Solar Fire that this at 18 degrees is going to then meet up here and with Uranus and Lilith. And what's going to happen is they're going to square all of these up here. So, you know, who knows what's ahead of us. So this is a challenge, the Mars Pluto, and it's where, you know, there's where we're stubborn, where we're determined. It's where we can, you know, hurt other people's feelings and be sharp with each other. There can be a lot of judgment. And we can see this is going to occur because we, you know, with vaccinations, for instance, and people are saying, no, they're not going to go for it. And there's going to, you know, you can imagine family members, some family members, you know, family units where they say, yes, I'm going to have one. And you have another family member refusing, you know, so you can see how that can create a bit of war in people's lives and households. So we don't know the truth at the moment. We don't know the absolute truth. And we've got to try and not be too critical of other people's choices at this time. The Jupiter conjunct Saturn, which we have, and that will continue through the coming months. This is, you can develop either two ways. If, you know, Saturn is dominant in this, it can be like very binding, and also Saturn is our teacher as well, but it's also restriction. And Jupiter is, you know, to do with where we can be grandiose, or we're learning, and it's about law as well, and it's about higher education, spirituality, religion, and also truth as well. So, you know, if we can use this two ways, one or two ways, and we're either going to be overly self-confident and think we're really important, and, you know, or if we want harmony, we need to balance this out in humanity as we go forward. And we'll see how that works. But Saturn conjunct Pluto also, which we have, it's weakening this conjunction, but it's still in conjunction. It's about self-control. It's where we're ambitious and where we want profound change and transformation, and where we're developing as humanity. And also it's where we might find, you know, and in time of intense reflection, you know, looking at the karma of our humanity. And very important, which I was, I think the nodes, which you can't see here, that this node, you can see it, but you can't see the square. So you've got 20 degrees and 18, and they're going to be meeting up, because that will go 20, it will go 19 and go 18, and it's going to square Neptune, and it's also the south node. So there's going to be a square going on here. There is a square going on, but it's just going to get more impactful. And there are positives to it, and the positive is that we can overcome life challenges, and it's about our spirituality and our focus, the focus of spirituality in our life, which we can see going on in humanity, because we've been humbled quite a bit due to COVID. We've all been humbled in the sense that we're looking, at the bigger picture, and not so much being just, look at me, the sort of narcissism in society where it's all about self. We've sort of opened up to being more spiritual in many ways, even if we don't call it that, or being more gentle with each other, some of us anyway. And the more difficult side of this is that there's a lot of vagueness and about the focus and the meaning and direction of our lives. And it's what's important, if we don't look at what's important and we're not persistent, then things can fall to pieces. So you can see there's a divide in society right now, like what is the right thing to do. Then what I want to do now is share with you my beautiful solar fire, which I really love and adore. Let me go new share, and the emanated page. So let's play with this chart. So this is the same chart, it's just a different format. It's on solar fire. This is the 8th of December. And what I'm going to do now is go, because depending where you are, I'm in London. So if you're in New York right now, it's going to be 5 hours behind the UK time. So you're still going to be on the 7th. But anyway, let's go for this. Let's look at what's going on here. So if we have a look, we've got, I want to show you this conjunction moving into Aquarius, and you'll see all of the other planets move. You'll see Mercury meet up with the Sun as well. And you'll also see Mars, as I go through the days, you'll see Mars meet up with Lilith and Uranus. This here is Eris, and we've also Eris, which I've just learning about. Eris is the god of discord. Okay, Eris is to do with discord, and 23 degrees in Aries, because this takes, I can't remember the exact amount, but Pluto takes 240 years to move around a chart average, and Eris, I think it's about 520 years. So Eris moves much slower, and I'm doing more research into this archetype. But let's go weeks ahead. So today we got the 8th of December. You can see here, if you want to watch closely what's going on. You don't have to, but I'm just showing you. Then we got the 15th of December. So you can see Mars moves to 20. And then we've got, and also Mars hitting the planet of discord, like, conjunct. And then the square up here, we're in interesting times, that's for sure. And then Lilith, who is to do with the shadow on top of Uranus, who's saying break free of limitations and past life trauma and long-term memory. And then you can see the Mercury is moving on into the Sun. And then we've got here, which is the 22nd of December. Let's go back to the conjunction, which is the 21st. So look, you've got 0 degrees, 0 degrees. This is the 21st. And you've got the Sun, 29 degrees. So if I move a couple of hours ahead, let's see, we want that. Oh, look, so here, this is the 21st. And we've got the Sun in Capricorn, conjunct Mercury in Capricorn. And then we've got Jupiter conjunct Saturn at 0 degrees of Capricorn, of Aquarius. And then we've got Mars conjunct Eris, which is the discord. And then we've got Lilith conjunct Uranus, 6 degrees. Look at this. 0, 0, 0, 0. 23, 23. This is Aries, Six. I mean, who knows how this plays out? It's beautiful to look at astrology, but if we took, what does the sun in Aquarius mean? Let's look at this, because it's going to mean looking at our own charts. It's going to be individual to all of us. Also, please do subscribe to my channel. I always forget to say it some way. I always say it at the end, and I'm building my channel. So subscribe and book a session with me if you want to look at some of your early imprints and traumas and decondition some of this stuff so that we can sail through a bit easier. So important to know ourselves. So the sun in Aquarius, the Saturn in Aquarius, am I with it? Saturn in Aquarius. Saturn is where we strive for a complex system of life rules because we somehow want to combine freedom with order. So it's, the Saturn in Aquarius is about freedom and order. And we may also fight against principles. So there may be, we want to be liberated somewhat because we want to achieve liberation. And, at the same time, we've got to follow rules. So we have to balance this. And we need to be able to make adjustments that suit us, but our actions need to be aligned with the actions of others. We can't just all be about ourselves because, it's in Aquarius. It's about the hopes and dreams, not just our own hopes and dreams. It's the hopes and dreams of humanity. And the ruler of Aquarius is Uranus. So Uranus is here currently. And at that point, I think it looks like that this is a square to Uranus and Lilith, and this is a lot going on, and the shadow. This is, and also with astrology, it's not so much that it's like one big aha moment. It's a process. It's been working on us anyway. It's working through the psyche. So this is, we may look for, at our troubles, because there may be trouble in our search for freedom with that Saturn in Aquarius, and also the dilemma that we're looking at. We've got father patriarchy, so not just the blood father, but the patriarchy not giving us a clear idea of authority, and it not aligned with our feelings that are humane. So what's right for us, we have to figure this out now. And then that Jupiter in Aquarius raises questions. What sort of world do we want to live in? How should this world be? Because it's been, up until pre-COVID, we've been living in a very fast world that's very unfair on the majority and sort of very rewarding of the minority, the rich in the world. And we're in a bit of a situation now. We're in for massive change. And also, with this Jupiter in Aquarius, it's about, when we need to get our plans in order for the future. And it's about consensus opinion. It's not just about my opinion. It's about, or your opinion. It's about all of us working together, for the betterment and deciding what's right for us. When we look at the COVID and what's being put forward on injections, is it safe? Do we want it? What are our own belief systems as well? And we have to begin to take steps in our own beliefs, but also consider others as well, and mixing beliefs to come to a system that works for all of us and that, affects the whole group of us in a good way. So it can't just be about us, because we're all connected. There is no separation. The psyche makes us believe that we're separate, and the ego. But the more we look at our shadow, which is the work of Carl Jung, the more we snap out of that and we begin to stop acting out so impulsively. That's the whole point of looking at the shadow, is admitting, our own, I don't really like to say flaws, because I don't really believe as human beings we are flawed, and the fact that we're learning every day, but just to be aware and be mindful of what, we really think and believe, and bring logic into our thinking, and also allow our feelings, but bring logic into our feelings at some point as well. And that's not easy, because we want to be looked after in so many ways, and particularly if we've missed out on childhood and not had the proper love and nurturing. And even if we didn't, we lack that in, if we didn't lack that in childhood, then we might have had it later in life, through relationships or schooling or all sorts of, just community not being accepted. So the idea is that we all continue forward step by step. I will say that Saturn in Aquarius is going to be there for we can have a quick look actually, it's about 2.5, 3 year transit, but Jupiter is a year. Jupiter moves around the chart a year, a sign. And if we can develop a system that suits all of our goals and the group purpose, this is the main thing here, and looking at God and world religion. And, what is God? It's like God is within us as well. The cells in our body, the air that we breathe, the planet that we live on. And also we need to get rid of our dogma, because we can be quite dogmatic as human beings with our belief systems. And we're reaching now for a new philosophy and a new way of being in the world. So this is really beautiful what this chart is showing, and it's not easy, but that day as well, there's a weak conjunction on the 21st of December, which is the solstice. There is a weak conjunction with the moon and 18, 19, 20, 21. So it's 18, 19, 20, 21, 5 degrees. So that's conjunct as well. This is fascinating, this chart. So let's see what goes on. So let's go forward, and I'm just going to show you how these planets move through 21st of December. Let's go months ahead. So watch these move. Watch Jupiter, 0 degrees. And we'll go 12 months, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, let's see there. Back actually. 26, let's see. 20. Oh, in Pisces. So that's interesting. That can't be right. May 2021, it's going to be in Pisces. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to go back here because we're going to go back 0 degrees Aquarius. So let's just see that. That's December 21st of December 2021. And this is months 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And then it's saying, I don't know if this is correct. It's saying 21st of May, it's going to be in, let's see, Pisces, but that must go retrograde. Let's see this. Yeah, there you go. The retrograde. I was worried there for a minute. So then planets go retrograde. So I'm glad you're bearing with me. So watch it go back. And then it will come out again. So that's interesting. So it goes into Pisces, comes back in, goes back into Aquarius, and then it is out again. And that's a year, yeah, to 21st January 2022. You can see in December 2021 that Saturn has moved 10 degrees from 0 to 10. And then if we go 12, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Then in 2 years, it's at 21 degrees. That's the 21st of December, 2022. And let's do it again. 1, 2, 3. And then it's in Pisces. And it will go forward. And then it'll probably go back into, let's see, it might go back into April 2023. It go retrograde again. And it goes back to 0 degrees of, so that's it. Beautiful, this chart. So let's see what's in store for us. Okay, I'm leaving it there. I went on a bit longer than I anticipated, but it's all good information. Catch you later. Thanks for watching.